Hey guys, so this happens to be the most requested video on this channel for the last couple of months. I'd say I get this question nearly every day, whether it's on Facebook or on YouTube or in Instagram messages. Everybody wants to know what our preschool plans are. Now it's funny because I feel most comfortable teaching preschool because Eli is now our third child going through a preschool at home program with us. I started homeschooling when Isabella was 3 years old. So, and as no matter what anyone says, homeschooling a preschooler has to be one of the hardest things because you're teaching them all of the basic things in life and you're teaching them routine and structure, and that is a test of your patience and character, and it's just, you know, it can be messy if you let it, or you can modify your approach, I would say, and have lower expectations. So that's kind of how our journey's gone. I started going way too hard with Isabella and then way too easy with Jessie, and now we're somewhere in between, and I'm really looking forward to the start of a new year with Eli. So first things first, I'm going to share, and I have this written down because I don't want to, I want this to kind of stay in order. My first thing I want to share is what my goals are with and my reasons are for homeschooling at 3 years old. Now it's not, he won't touch a pencil this year. He won't be quizzed or tested or be expected to recite anything to me. It's very light and fun. So my goals for preschool, the reasons that we choose to homeschool and preschool, are development of habits like waking up, and well, waking up is a habit, but getting ready, learning to listen, come sit down when mommy says, all those sorts of things, those types of habits. Listening skills, cleaning up after himself, just learning to be a part of our family dynamic here as far as schooling goes. It's really important when you homeschool to have your kids understand the way that your days flow, because if you have many children, then you understand that having one child resistant to the routine can really mess up the entire day because there's only one of you to teach multiple children. So if my time is being spent trying to distract and entertain a child all day long, it's really going to cut into my time with the other kids. So learning to clean up, learning to listen, getting into those good habits. And then the other thing is just attention, because if I don't say that I'm homeschooling him at 3 years old, then I will fall into the habit of sending him out of the room, putting on a movie, and I don't get a lot of one-on-one time with him. So at his age, at their young preschool age, eye contact and that heart-to-heart time, that attention, they really need it. They really need it. So one of the main reasons that I homeschool at this age is just to make sure that I have that time with them every single day. And it's honestly just playing. I think if my kids were going to school and my days were spent with him, I would be doing puzzles and playing with him. But because my time is taken up a lot of the time through homeschool, I don't necessarily have that in my schedule to sit down and play with him. So having that as part of our homeschool makes sure that that happens for him. Communication skills, talking to me talking to him, us reading good books and him learning new words, and just a love of books. I think that you can start that very young. I mean, my baby's only 4 months old and we're already reading to her. So it's just, that's something that you're never too young to start learning to love books. Teaching them to explore ideas, learning, instead of just saying, what do I do? What can I do? What's next? Teaching them to go out, and if they're loving butterflies, to draw butterflies and paint butterflies and look for butterflies, and just to find and explore these new ideas that they have, and to learn to grow their imagination. And then also sensory experiences at this young age. A lot of times, and you hear this all the time if you are trying to do a nature study or any sort of outdoor type of thing, is that our kids are so used to wearing tennis shoes, being inside, lighting, and just not getting to have all those different sensory experiences that maybe we were able to have as children, because things have just become so technological and indoors. And so that's a big part of our preschool, is just exploring sensory bins, getting outside, taking our shoes off, rolling on the floor, those types of things. Those are important for this age. So the only thing that I necessarily have structured for him is a letter of the week kind of a thing. Now, this is not a curriculum that I'm buying or anything. It's just kind of a make up as we go sort of thing. So I'm going to show you Jesse's, and you're probably familiar with these. These are all over Pinterest. So this was A for apple, B for butterfly, C for car, D for dog, E for eagle. He did this in a little co-op that we were a part of years ago. And so I'm going to be doing this with Eli, but I'm going to tie it in because we have Jesse in first grade. Jesse's going to be doing a little bit of 5 in a row, and Eli's going to be doing a little bit of 5 in a row. I've always used 5 in a row from year 1 with Isabella, and it's just a fun way to kind of tie in their little letter of the week with a book. So I will show you what I have planned for the first 6 weeks, and then I think I'm going to be filming them and posting every 6 weeks our preschool curriculum if anybody is looking for some ideas. So A, we're going to do an apple, the letter A for apple, and we're going to read and lightly row for 5 in a row, how to make an apple pie and see the world. For B, we're going to do the bee tree. C, we're actually not doing a 5 in a row book. We got our koala crate and it is a camping theme. So I think we're going to do a camping themed week that week, and if for some reason he really wants to get into this before we get to the letter C, he's even going to make like a little backpack out of this. So this was a really good crate. I'm going to put the link below for these crates if you are interested. They're a big part of our homeschool, but if he for some reason is wanting to get into this crate before we get to the letter C, then we're going to do, if you give a mouse a cookie, and we're going to do C is for cookie. D is for duck, and we're going to do make way for ducklings. I think that didn't sound right when I said it, but I think that's what it's called. And Ping, the story of Ping. E is going to be elephant, and we are going to read Babar. I don't even know how to pronounce it, so we'll get there. And then F is for family, and we are going to read They Were Strong and Good. And so each of these weeks, the only thing, we're going to be doing this about 3 days a week while the older kids are doing their math, and then Jesse will join us for the projects and the reading afterwards. So basically while Jesse's doing his math, because their math is independent, I'll be doing these crafts and these activities with Eli, and then for the actual 5 in a row activity, I'm sure that Jesse will be done with his math and will be a part of it, and also I think Bella's going to still want to be a part of it just because 5 in a row has been a part of her homeschool for so long. So Eli will be doing one of those letter crafts one day. Another day we're going to do like Play-Doh, doing the letter with Play-Doh or rice or a bag in a Ziploc, or paint in a Ziploc bag, things like that. And then we're going to work on making a snack for everybody one day too. So these are just things that aren't, they're not formal. He's not sitting at a desk. They're just one-on-one. He's getting some interaction with me, and he's also learning to listen to me. Like, you know, he'll be cutting and pasting and pressing and when I say to do so, and he'll be working on just being focused on making the snack with me and not running off and playing. So I'm just kind of taking him under my wing to teach him routine, but we're going to do that through doing a letter each week. So that is how we are doing anything formal. Now for the rest of the day, which I think is what most of you are wanting to know, is how do I keep him busy while I'm doing homeschool with the older kids? So I have a couple things to say about that. One, it's interesting, I guess is the right word, how much he's picked up just from being in the room while I do school with the other kids. The other day, Annabeth was crying in the car, and I might have shared this with you already, but just in case. She was screaming in the car. I only had Eli and Annabeth that day, and I was just like, I couldn't take it anymore. So I said, Eli, will you just sing the ABCs? And he goes, I don't know that song. And I said, yes, you do. Sing the alphabet to her. I don't know that song. So I started, okay, A, B, C, D. And he's like, I don't know that song. And I'm like, have I never taught you the alphabet? I couldn't believe I hadn't taught him that. But he knows the story of Beowulf. He knows what Constantinople is. He knows these things from sitting in the room with us. But some of these things that you start in these early formative years, he didn't happen to know. So it's interesting how much he'll pick up just from being in the room. Anything story-based, any books that we're reading, he picks up on a ton of it. He wants to be involved in our science experiments. He wants to be involved in our nature studies. So allow them to sit in as often as they want to be. It's funny the things that they'll pick up. So that's one thing. The other thing is I have these bins. So these are my emergency bins, and I have them in the schoolroom. I'm going to show you what's inside. These are things that I can get to quickly if I need to give him something to do, if he's really maybe loud or fussy. Not fussy, you don't say fussy at 3 years old, whiny. If he's loud and he just needs something to do, but I can't do something one-on-one with him, then I pull these things out. So in the one bin, I have pattern blocks and the cards that go with that. I have these different shapes and numbers and some Play-Doh. And Play-Doh tools. Play-Doh is like a main part of our preschool. Do-a-dot markers and papers, and counting bears. Now these are all things he can do supervised in the same room as me, but don't require my attention the whole time. And then also, this bin has things like these wooden balancing games. Okay, my camera cut out. I hope I'm still in focus. It is really hard to film these videos during the day with a baby. I'm just gonna say I should have done this last night, but we had a little leak in our kitchen, and it happened to leak right on my computer. So I was dealing with getting a new computer last night. So anyway, there's that. So yes, where was I? Okay, the wooden balance game, I think you saw. These types of puzzles, just simple puzzles. To be honest with you, cheap puzzles, because these are things that he will be doing on his own, and I can't sit there and make sure that he doesn't lose pieces or doesn't get them wet or doesn't, you know, things like that. So little puzzles that you can find in dollar sections, dollar store type of stuff. A couple of these things I picked up from the Target dollar spot, just these little felt play packs. And then in the bottom of this bin, I don't know if you can see that, these are all random pieces to different koala crates that we didn't complete. So each koala crate comes with 3 or 4 activities, and sometimes he doesn't want to do all of them while we're doing the crate, and so these are just things that are left over, or they're things that can be reused. For example, we had a color crate once, and it came with these to mix colors, so I didn't want to get rid of them even though we did the activity. I thought, you know, maybe one day he'd still want to sit and play with them or identify colors with them. It was kind of a little game. So these are all different activities and instruction manuals from the different koala crates that he can kind of sit near me, and he doesn't need my help to complete. So those are like my emergency go-tos if I'm busy doing something and he wants to participate in something on his own, and that way I can grab those and he can be in the same room, but he's doing kind of his own thing. So he feels like he's a part of the school day, but he's completing something that doesn't require my attention. And then also throughout the day, as the kids are completing projects, as they're working on coloring pages or working on vocabulary pages or whatever it may be, lessons that did require my attention at the beginning, but then they're finishing the lessons on their own, I have all sorts of things that only take a couple of minutes of my time that I can sit down and do with him. So I like to keep these things on hand. You see a lot of these things in my homeschool favorites videos, but things like this. These little counting owls I can sit down and do with him. This picture dictionary, I can sit down and we can work on some beginning letter sounds, seeing if we have any of these things around the house. These, I know that everybody, I think I showed these about a year ago. I can find these in my Michaels, but I'll put a link below to where you can find them on Amazon as well. These are little sticky dots you just get wet and stick together. You can build whatever you want, but it really works on fine motor skills and motor skill development. Things like this My Tape Town, again, something that will work on motor skills, but also just interaction and listening skills. These letter games, these are the kinds of things that they really pick up on without any formal instruction. So while he may not be able to tell me what this letter is or what the sound is, I can pick up the letter and make the sound, and then he can find the picture that matches it. So it's interactive, but he will learn definitely through that. matching games, these big Melissa and Doug puzzles. These are a big hit. Play kitchens, sensory bins, all those types of things that you can do in a 5-minute window that you have. If your kids are taking a math test or a spelling test or something like that, and you only have a small window of time and can't complete a whole lesson like these 5-in-a-row lessons that I'm talking about, then it's just a way to kind of interact with them. And that's, I mean, I don't know what preschool in the school system looks like nowadays, or private preschool. I don't know what they're doing to prepare for kindergarten and first grade. But when I was little, preschool was all play-based. It was songs, it was dancing, it was colors. It wasn't sitting down with a pencil. It wasn't doing workbooks and reciting things and memorizing things. That's just not fun. So these are all just things that are fun. They're still learning. It might not be learning academics, but it's definitely life learning. And so that's what's important to us in this house. So let me see if I have said... So yeah, letters, a great way for them to work on their letters without holding a pencil or feeling the pressure is to use Play-Doh over, you can just print a letter on paper and have them roll Play-Doh to go over it. Putting rice on a cookie sheet and with sides and having them draw the letter in rice. And also if you take like washable or finger paint and put it in a big gallon-sized Ziploc bag and lay it flat, then they can draw the letter on the Ziploc bag through it without actually getting the paint on them. Learning games and puzzles, I said. So light structure, just learning how to sit in front of me and listen. Cutting and pasting is a fun one. It's a little bit of motor skills. They love to use scissors, teaching them those scissor skills. Reading to them and just creating and being creative and having fun. Those are the things that they need, that they can be doing while they're sitting with you, not necessarily just formal instruction, just fun stuff. Make it a positive environment and not a challenging environment. 3 years old, 4 years old, that's not the age to be challenging them, because what we want them to learn at these young ages, even these younger elementary ages, is just to love to learn. We don't want them to necessarily retain what they're learning, but just to learn to love learning, so that as they get older, when they need to be memorizing these things and they need to be really understanding things, they're not burnt out already from preschool and kindergarten and first grade. So make it a positive environment. Make sure you're doing things that they're capable of doing. You're not pushing them too hard. You're not putting pressure on our little kids. Just make sure that it's not too challenging so that they don't feel like they can't do it. You want them to want to be in the schoolroom with you, believe it or not. You want them to enjoy it, and then the following year and the following year, as they get older, they'll remember that it's a good feeling to be doing school. And then the last thing I have to say, which is just something that is maybe specific to our family, is that I prefer to give verbal rewards, verbal encouragement, positive encouragement, instead of stuff. I mean, stickers, things like that are fine, but I don't necessarily think they need to be getting candy or getting prizes for doing the schoolwork with you, because at this age, all they crave is that attention from you. And so if you start teaching them for no reason now that they need to be earning things by doing schoolwork, it's going to create that dynamic. And I do have that dynamic going on with one of my kids, where I just too often gave them stuff, and instead of just giving them praise and compliments, I had them working toward these goals of getting these things, and it's become something that I can't really undo right now without too much of a struggle. So at this age, it's claps, it's hugs, it's high fives, it's good jobs, it's I'm so proud of you, it's the eye contact and all that love and attention. That is the best way to reward them for sitting down and listening and doing school with you. So that is, those are the things that I have to share about doing preschool and what our plans are for this upcoming year. Like I said, I'll put links to a few of these things below. They will be affiliate links, just so you know. I mean, I always make sure that I put that in the box, but I don't want you to feel like you're getting tricked. Anyway, so yeah, that's how we're doing preschool this upcoming year with Eli. That's our plans. Let me know below in the comments how you guys plan to do preschool this year, or how you've done preschool if your kids are past that preschool age. I'm halfway done with preschool. I have 2 kids to get through preschool now, so it's so bittersweet to think that I've already done this twice. I don't even feel like I feel like my oldest kid should still be in preschool, so I can't believe that I'm going on my 3rd child being in preschool. It's unbelievable how fast time flies. So anyway, that's our plans for this year. I can't wait to hear what you guys have planned, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.